I had a cousin who came back from Vietnam. He was really messed up. He survived. He says, I survived, and the guy standing next to me got his head split in half. I survived, and the guy down the road, he stepped, a friend took point, and he stepped on a landmine, or he got a machine gun. I came out of Vietnam without a scratch on me. You realize that? I says, no, you didn't come out of it without a scratch. How are you sleeping? How are you sleeping? Because I saw you just doze off and jump up in a quiet room. What's wrong? I could hear the screaming, he said. I could hear the screaming. I could hear our screaming. He was. He can't get a good night's sleep. He keeps remembering. He keeps remembering battles. Battles. I can't get it out of my mind. My friend, right in front of me, I saw his head explode. I was covered in his blood and brains. I can't get it out of my mind. I says, because you want to remember it. I remember stuff too. Not like you. I went off to, well, something, but not like you. I was kind of like prepared. You weren't prepared to go to war. You went through boot camp, in a month? And they gave you a gun. You got taken from the United States. You flew over to Vietnam. You got off. And two things you hit. Either you hit the dry heat or the rainy weather. Yeah. And you went from 80-degree weather to 105-degree weather in night or 120-degree weather, muggy and everything else. And they never conditioned you to get into that. And what you're basically suffering is post-war effect or whatever they call it. You're living you're basically traumatized. And one of the things about that is that you need to talk about it. But I don't want to talk about it, he tells me. You need to talk about it. I don't dare go to psychiatrists. Hey, those psychiatrists have heard stories before that will raise your hair in your chest because they heard it all. And they came back from World War II or Korea, they heard it all. Wars are always the same. They're open morgues. Bodies don't get buried. They rot. In the regular weather, in cold, they're frozen whatever they laid. And then when the spring comes up, yes, they thaw out. And when the summer comes along, they're full of flies. There's pictures of in the archives of military archives showing that. Ever been to a morgue? Yes. Well, yeah, that's rough. You're running through a stress, and you're remembering it. It takes time to scramble the details. It takes time for your mind to see other things. Go read a book. Be imaginative. Uh, go see Rock Hudson. Yeah, Rock Hudson, Doris Day movies. Bob Hope movies. Uh, go see those things. I told him, um, Read comic books. Read read things that make hammer. Learn to laugh. Go to see comedies. Theater. Yes, yes. Um, I told him it is hard. It's hard. He asked me when I was at war. You really want to know? I was a logistics sitting in a swamp. Can't tell you where, but I was a logistics sitting in a swamp. You know how we did? Uh huh. We had to watch out for the patrols off the country because uh huh we get picked up by them. Uh huh. We got thrown in jail, and then we were going further out in the sea, and we had to work about another country's picking us up. We're just common fishermen, but we have a below deck. We're running guns and ammunition, explosives. And then I have to worry about, if we go a little bit further than that thing, we have to worry about the enemy's country because they're patrol boats. Yes, I'm logistics. I don't have to see battle, but they needed somebody to help deliver this stuff. So I landed on a foreign country's soil and bring this stuff in there. And guess what? We're discovered. And you talk about fear. I don't even know to speak the language. I don't look like the locals. And I'm running for my little life back to our boat. We landed with 100 people besides us in logistics. We got off the island, passed their boats, everything else, and then we hit the another country's islands, and we just dodged back in that thing. And then we got back to the U.S. and I was so happy to get back. I really didn't worry about anything else. We dropped 100 guys off in another country, and they never made it back. Do I remember it? I have flashes of it, but I wasn't under firepower, you might say. Nobody shot at me, you might say. But that's that thing. You, on the other hand, you went off to war. When was your first firefight? Yes. When did you really find out the adrenaline racing through you, that everything in front of you is your enemy? Did you kill the enemy with a rifle? Or did you get one of the villagers, one of the farmers? Did you hit a kid? A dog? What did you hit? He says, I shut up a family. Yes. Okay. I just they they were they were in the bushes. I just shut them up. This is war. 600,000 died in the Civil War in the United States, and a lot of those that thing in World War II, whole villages were bombed out of existence. What do you think about? Well, the Americans got into our French village, but we bombed it first. That's right. Artillery went in there for it. Tank fire went into it for it. It's natural. War is hell. It's hell for both sides, and it's worse for you. You went into a country that's been fighting a war. The first it was the French, then it was the Japanese, and then it was the French again, and then the Americans. It's rough, and you're under stress. And what was going to happen? Don't drink. That's not going to do you any good. Get a hobby. Paint. You're in a school. Paint. Sculpture. Take your frustrations out there. Maybe even put your dreams on canvas. Get in radio, TV. Get something off your mind. Stop trying to remember. There's nothing you could have done. You're in a lot of stress. You're still in a lot of stress. How do I know? Oh, I don't know the same thing you were because I didn't have to worry getting to pitch battle. I almost got into pitch battle, but I wasn't carrying anything. I was carrying ammo and ammo for someone else. Uh huh. They didn't give me a gun. I was just a mule. Yes, I didn't have a gun. I was a mule. I was carrying some food, some medical supply, ammunition, explosives, and I got out of that thing. And you talk about fear? Me, it's fear. You know, you you lived it 365 days. You did a tour over there. The second you landed there, the second you got out of there. Between those points, you were in constant threat of being killed, blown up, stepping in a landmine. Uh huh. And you survived. You survived. And you're asking why? Well, would you like to have come back in a body bag? No. Yeah, it's a stupid war we got in. It's a stupid war we got in. We got lured into a war, you know. Somehow it's a domino effect. It's a domino effect anyway. Still, our government still doesn't understand. It's, the enemy is willing to kill 95% of their population, and we're not, which is good. It's good, yeah. Uh, you are under stress. Go get a massage. Don't sit there and drink anything. Don't sit there and smoke dope. Uh huh. You came out of it. You came out in pretty good shape. But, you know, tell me about it. Talk to me. We're taking the same class. Talk to me on the side before the class and after the class. Talk to me. Go to dinner with me. Talk to me. Because I can't say I'm a grieving counselor. My religion is different than your religion. I've heard the stories all my life. You know, my father would consult, my mother would consult other people in grieving, and growing up, I would be with the children of the parents, you know, to remind them all the happy time they would with the person that died, a grandfather or a grandmother, or a parent or a brother or a sister. Hey, in my time, people died. Yeah, people died, and that is, you know, people. You are that thing. There should be. I told him there should be some place where you all sit around and talk to you about your spirit. Go to a VFW. Have them talk about their experiences, so you can talk about your experience, and you will find out the wars are all the same. Go to the American Legion. There's guys who from World War II and Korean War. They know what you have gone through. Talk with them. I don't know. Yeah. Did I ever talk to them? Well, I didn't have to talk to them. I belong to the agency. Hmm. But hey, I don't know what you're having. We call it PTSD. Back then, I guess they were learning.